Chicago drill rapper Bloodhound Q50 fans thought he was dead. Rivals claimed the hit, and hospital footage went viral everywhere. But was it really an ambush with 60 rounds? Or was it all a setup to destroy his image? Today, we uncover the truth behind the rumor that nearly buried him alive. One blurry hospital clip, a wave of fake obituaries, and a truck allegedly sprayed with 60 bullets. The internet already decided Q50's fate. But here's the twist, he wasn't gone. This is the story of how Bloodhound Q50 turned death rumors into the biggest moment of his career. They said Chicago rapper Bloodhound Q50 was finished. 60 rounds fired into his truck, rivals celebrating online, even blogs posting obituaries. But hours later, Q50 himself appeared, laughing at the world. So what really happened in St. Louis? Let's break it down. Chicago drill rapper Bloodhound Q50 has faced gunfire before. When asked if he ever thought about dying in those moments, he admitted that thought never crossed his mind. He had already lost family to violence, but nothing could have prepared his fans for the chilling hospital footage that surfaced after his most recent attack. This time, it was clear Q50 would not walk away so easily. The internet exploded on August 17th, with his name flooding Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and rap blogs. Everywhere you looked, there were shocking headlines. Bloodhound Q50 shot in St. Louis ambush. Chicago rapper critically injured after 60 rounds fired into truck. Some posts even circulated fake obituaries. It all began when unverified accounts claimed Q50 had been tricked with a phony show in St. Louis, only to be ambushed the moment he arrived. The first viral report came from Raindrops Media 1, alleging his truck had been sprayed with automatic weapons, leaving him and others fighting for their lives. Soon after, another user, Lashy Bills, added fuel to the fire, saying Q50's black truck had been hit with over 60 bullets, the tires blown out, and that he was targeted for posting his location on Instagram. Pause and think 60 rounds. That is not a hit, that is an outright battlefield. Yet social media ran with it instantly. A short video made the situation spiral even further. It did not show Q50, nor any injured victims. It only showed flashing police lights, ambulances, and officers outside a hospital. The caption read, "Check on Bloodhound Q50." That alone convinced many fans that he was fighting for his life. In drill culture, perception quickly becomes reality. Supporters remembered his earlier shooting and the bullet still lodged in his leg, so they assumed this time was the end. Blogs jumped on the story. Hindustan Times, Hyperresh Mekakalal, publishing articles based on the viral posts, even without real confirmation. Then things got uglier. Rival rappers in St. Louis began claiming responsibility. Rapper CTS Lou Wick mocked Q50 during a live stream, warning that next time he better move smarter and roll with bulletproof trucks. Others suggested Real Houdini had bragged about involvement, while another alleged shooter even went live, saying Q50 was the most famous person he had ever popped. Rumors stretched further, with blogs reporting the attack was linked to a $6,000 dispute involving a local St. Louis artist, painting the picture that Q50 had stepped on the wrong toes. Proof was shaky, but in the streets, whispers often carry the weight of truth. Confusion deepened when some outlets reported Q50 was critically injured, while others flat out declared him dead. Rollout Metro News even published an obituary, and YouTube channels like In the Trap TV claimed it was official. Yet there was no police report, no statement from St. Louis PD, no confirmation from his management or label. Nothing. Larger outlets, like Metrical and Crispin G, later dismissed the story as a likely hoax driven by clout chasing. So what was the truth? Instead of hiding, Q50 decided to flip the script. Hours after the storm of rumors, he appeared on Instagram, posting a carousel of photos of himself relaxing in a vehicle, looking completely unharmed. His caption was a cryptic line, "Notorious like Big Papa, but I ain't going like Chris Wallace." That Biggie reference was not just a clever bit, was a statement. Q50 was telling the world, "You all want me gone like Biggie, but I am still standing." He backed it up by reposting an IG story from @079squeeze that read, "Switchy, watching all the fake news, laughing." Then came the moment that shut down a lot of doubt. He went live on Instagram. On that livestream, Q50 made it clear he knew people were hoping the rumors were true. "I know for a fact y'all was hoping that true 'cause I done chiled up so many times," he said, calling out names and hinting at scores he still planned to settle. He grinned through it all, even joking that some of his enemies had seen him as the last face before they died. He told viewers he just needed time for his wounds to heal, smiling and talking recklessly the whole time. No hospital bed, no 4 lines, no visible injuries, just a rapper clowning the internet. Some fans breathed easy. Others remained suspicious, suggesting maybe he was hiding bullet wounds. But one fact was undeniable. Q50 was alive and mocking. The rumors, so why did the story spread so fast without any proof? The answer is simple. First, his past made it believable. Q50 had already been shot before and still carried a bullet in his leg. Fans knew he lived a dangerous life, so hearing he got ambushed again felt realistic. Second, the hospital footage looked convincing. Even without showing him, the flashing lights and police presence fed into the narrative. Third, rival rappers fueled the chaos. When people like CTS Lou Wick went live mocking Q50, it blurred the line between trolling and truth. Fourth, blogs chased clicks. Sites like Hype Fresh published stories without checking facts because speed meant more than accuracy. And lastly, fans wanted drama. Drill culture thrives on spectacle. A shooting rumor is not just news, it is entertainment. When you strip away the noise, the viral hospital footage reveals more about the ecosystem around drill rap than about Q50 himself. In the suburbs, people see flashing lights and assume tragedy. In the hood, people see the same thing and think, another day, another body, another op pack. For Q50, the situation was both a curse and a blessing. The curse: his name was plastered in fake obituaries, and people thought he was dead. The blessing: his fame skyrocketed. Rappers who had never heard of him now knew the name Q50 all because the internet killed him off. And in this industry, perception is everything. As wild as it sounds, sometimes surviving a fake rumor can boost a career almost as much as surviving the real thing. But who really is Bloodhound Q50? When you hear his name, different images come to mind. Some see just another Chicago rapper trying to turn street credibility into a music career. Others see a cautionary tale of drill culture, where life, death, and music are tangled together. But dig deeper into his story, and one truth stands out. Q50 does not just rap about the trenches. He lived them. His real name is Cooper, born and raised in Chicago. At only 20 years old, he had already witnessed more trauma than men twice his age. He began rapping casually in 2023, but it was in 2024 that people really noticed him. That year, he dropped Splash Brothers, a track released just a month after the murder of his close friend and collaborator, Bloodhound Lil Jeff. That was no coincidence. It was grief turned into music, pain transformed into verses. And in drill, that is often how stars are born. By 2024, Q50 signed with Signal Records, a label tied to Columbia Records. In April 2025, he released his debut album, bluntly titled Long Live My Brother. He probably killed your Bruda. That was not a polished, label-approved title, it was raw street philosophy printed in black and white. But here is the truth: rap was never his first love. In interviews, Q50 admitted he did not even care much about music at the start. It was Lil Jeff and his Bloodhound crew who pushed him into taking it seriously. Jeff would literally carry their songs to label meetings, trying to put Q50 in the spotlight before he even wanted it. For Jeff, music was a lifeline. He believed it might keep his friend out of the streets. Sadly, it did not save Jeff. In June 2024, Lil Jeff was murdered, shot 19 times in a brutal killing. Even his own parents admitted it came from the life he lived. That loss crushed Q50. In interviews, he described it as the first real heartbreak of his life. Sure, he had lost cousins before, but Jeff was different. He was family and a daily presence. Losing him left a wound that never healed. This was Q50's reality. Death was not rare, it was constant. That is why his music feels inseparable from his life. Every rumor about him getting killed feels believable because his world makes it so. And the haunting part: Q50 himself had already faced death. In a Vlad TV interview, he spoke about the night he was shot in the leg. He described the memory as hazy, almost like his brain refused to process the trauma. What makes it even scarier is that he believed he was not even the target. "I think that was mistaken identity," he admitted. "I don't think I was the intended target." That is one of the harshest truths of the streets. You do not even need to be in the beef to catch a bullet. He said straight up, he had done nothing to deserve it. But bullets do not care about innocence. The most chilling part: he never panicked. When asked if he thought he might die, Q50 shrugged it off. "That ain't really going through my head." Q50 has always said his #1 rule in life is simple: do not panic. In his words, panic only makes things worse. Imagine being just 17 or 18 years old, bleeding from a bullet wound, and instead of screaming for help, you calmly press down on your own leg and wait until someone comes. That clip of him explaining the moment went viral because it captured the two sides of Q50 at once, still a teenager, but already hardened by the streets. And the most haunting part: doctors could not even remove the bullet. To this day, it is still lodged in his leg. He literally walks around with metal inside his body, a permanent reminder of how close death came. That is why so many people believed the St. Louis rumors. They knew his past, and once you know someone has already been shot and survived, it is easy to believe they could be back in a hospital bed again. This is the Shadow Q50's history casts. In drill culture, every wound, every beef, and every diss track adds to the story. For Q50, surviving that first shooting gave him an aura in the hood. Scars are seen as stripes, proof you made it through. While he brushed it off, refusing to press charges or involve police, the fact that he lived only boosted his reputation. But that reputation was double-edged. His credibility grew, but so did the target on his back. Because the truth is, Opps don't care about your career path. Whether you are chasing rap stardom or stuck in the block, you are still a target. Meanwhile, blogs and fans eat it up. One day, they cover his new mixtape. The next, they spread headlines saying his truck was sprayed with 60 rounds. This endless cycle of music, rumors, and beef is what traps so many drill rappers in a dangerous loop. Even Q50 admitted music was not his first love. It was Lil Jeff who pushed him, dragging songs to label meetings and begging him to stay consistent. That shows the risk. He was in half in the streets, half in the studio. And being caught in between is the most dangerous place of all. If you are fully in the streets, you move like it. If you are fully in the industry, you have security and structure. But when you try to juggle both, that is when setups happen. That is when you get caught slipping. When Q50 spoke about his cousin Z Money being killed, you could hear the toll of that in-between life. His words carried raw pain, not rap bravado. Like, damn, what do I even do? How do I even react? It was heartbreak, put into words. So when unverified hospital clips appeared with captions like "Check on Bloodhound Q50", fans instantly tied it back to his past. They remembered the leg shot, the bullet he still carries. Seeing flashing lights and ambulances outside a hospital was all it took for the rumor to feel real. The footage did not even show him, it was just a building, some lights, and speculation. But with his history, that was enough. Soon, claims spread across Twitter and Instagram. Some said he was lured to St. Louis with a fake show and ambushed. Others swore his black truck had been riddled with 60 bullets. Rival rappers fueled it further by bragging on Instagram, claiming credit. The story wrote itself, and the vague hospital video became the so-called proof. But here is why this story matters. Q50 is not just another rapper caught in gossip. His name being tied to haunting hospital footage shows the way social media, drill culture, and trauma feed each other in an endless loop. He has survived real bullets. He has buried real family. He has actually walked into hospitals not knowing if he would walk out. So when people see rumors of him clinging to life, they believe it. His past makes those lies believable. And Q50 knows it. That is why, after the St. Louis rumors, he leaned into cryptic posts and Instagram lives. He understood that survival stories keep people watching, even if the truth gets twisted. In this game, perception is everything. Sometimes the haunting footage is real, sometimes it is just a rumor. But either way, it keeps his name alive. When the smoke finally cleared, the internet was split. Half the fans were mourning, convinced he was gone. The other half pointed to his Instagram live, his Biggie reference, his laughing emojis, saying he was very much alive. And of course, trolls added fuel, cheering for his downfall. Part of the confusion came from a tragic mix-up. Back in October 2024, another young Chicago rapper named Lil Q50, real name Anthony, had been killed in a Southside ambush at just 15 years old. So when blogs rushed to push stories about Q50 being shot, many fans confused the two. They did not realize Bloodhound Q50 real name, Mule Cooper, was a completely different person. That mistake made the chaos even worse, and it highlights a grim truth. In drill culture, violence is so common that even stage names overlap in tragedy. You don't just have one rapper named Q50 making headlines for being shot, to got more than one. That's how common this cycle has become. And let's keep it real. This hospital footage didn't blow up online just because of random fans. It got traction because rivals used it as ammunition. One of the loudest names tied to Q50 lately has been Chucky Wackham. Their feud is messy. It's part music, part street, part internet. At one point, Chucky even dropped a diss track while hanging around with O-Block affiliates, throwing subliminal shots at both Q50 and Baby Chief Do It. But the beef didn't stay in the booth. It even spilled into online gaming, of all places. Q50 pulled up on Chucky during an NBA 2K5 session, and TikTok ate it up. Two outsiders. That might sound silly arguing over a PlayStation game, but in the hood, every slight counts. Whether it's music, Instagram comments, or a 2K lobby, everything becomes a battlefield. And here's the twist. There's an unreleased track floating around with both Q50 and Chucky on it, meaning at one point, they were at least cool or neutral. But in drill, friendships flip to rivalries overnight, especially once Cloud and Cruz get involved. So when the St. Louis rumor hit, fans immediately tied it back to Chucky, even without proof. The story writes itself. Opps got him. Then you've got the situation with billionaire Black. Unlike Chucky's sneak disses, Black came at Q50 head-on. When Vlad TV asked Q50 about it, he downplayed the drama completely. He said he didn't even know Black, never had a problem, never even thought about him. That was his way of keeping it cool, refusing to give the beef more energy. But Black didn't let it go. He dropped disses in interviews, teased songs going at Q50 and even his late cousin Lil Jeff on TikTok. He accused Q50 of lying about having 8 hats, a slang flex about bodies and credibility. The shots kept coming, and soon it turned into a full musical back. Q50 and Screw released Make Me Mad PT1. And Black fired back with Indiana PT1. At that point, the feud was cemented. So again, when the hospital footage surfaced, fans didn't hesitate to connect the dots to these beefs. That's how drill works. Every shooting rumor gets pinned on an op proof or no proof. And why would rivals push a rumor that might not even be true? Simple, because perception matters more than reality. In the streets, if people believe you got hit, it makes you look vulnerable. It makes your enemies look stronger. Even if you pop up later alive and well, the damage is already done. That's why CTS Lewick was online talking reckless. That's why whispers about a $160,000 setup in St. Louis kept spreading. Because today, the internet is the new battleground, and once your image is tied to a hospital bed, it sticks. The wildest part is how Q50 handled it. Most rappers in his position would have gone ghost or dropped some formal statement. Not him. He went full troll mode. He threw up laughing emojis. He referenced Biggie. He even went live and mocked the whole thing, saying, "I know for a fact y'all was hoping that was true cause I done y'all up so many times." St. Louis wasn't that. Still ain't even made that 60 back. That's hood code for, you can't kill my name with rumors, I'm still here. And honestly, it worked. Instead of looking like a victim, he flipped the narrative into clout. Streams went up, blogs covered it, even outlets like All Hip Hop picked it up, mentioning how he laughed off the rumors on Livivin while snorting an unknown substance. When you zoom out, this whole episode says a lot about rap today. First, drill rappers live double lives. They're both artists and street figures, trapped in a world where music and violence are tangled together. Second, rumors spread way faster than facts. You don't need police reports or official confirmation. Blurry hospital clip is enough to trend worldwide. Third, beefs fuel the cycle. Every rival will claim credit, whether or not they were actually involved. And finally, survival itself becomes a kind of currency. For Q50, surviving both a real shooting and a fake one only added to his legend. But here's the scary part, sometimes the rumors come true. Drill is filled with rappers who went live to deny getting shot, only to be killed days later. Fans know that. That's what makes these stories so chilling. This time, the footage may not have shown Q50 lying in a hospital bed, but it showed something even darker, the way people are so quick to believe a young black rapper is destined to die. And as long as drill culture, social media, and beefs keep colliding, flashing lights outside a hospital will always feel just one rumor away from becoming reality.